shine, campers. It's leg day. That's right.
Every day is leg day.
Calves, quads, hamstrings, glutes.
Kegels.
Every day is leg day.
Every day is leg day.
That's why I press my pack though. I gotta get, I gotta bounce that chest out.
Today we're gonna put a fat little kindergartner on our back and climb a mountain.
I love when the monkey's strangling me from behind. Otherwise it'd be fun. She'd still complain and stuff, but it wouldn't be like a nightmare. Yeah.
So far this morning, I left Derrick Knob. I've gone 2.7 miles. It's about 9 o'clock. Clingman Dome, 7.4 ahead of me. That's primary goal number one. I'm going to stay at the shelter just past that. I don't know what elevation I'm at, but I'm only a couple of miles from the top of Clingman Dome. Probably 3 miles, maybe 4. And suddenly, the stick forest I've been in for 3 weeks became a fern forest. I've never seen so much evergreen. So I must be at a certain elevation where this stuff survives. And Clingman is the tallest mountain, or at least the highest elevation on the AT. That's 6,600 feet. So I might have just entered into a whole new world. It's really pretty. Everything's covered in moss. It's very green up here.
You're like 7 miles away from the park.
Well, made it this far. Might as well go all the way up.
It's okay, baby. It's just a big hill. Not had a girlfriend now in almost, I guess, 2 years. Beforehand, he was doing like one every 6 months because he gets too clingy.
Yeah.
Break up with Come on, Al.
That sounds like.
No, abandoned there.
I love that, you know. So, well, thank you for all you do.
We're gonna just take a quick picture.
Okay.
Don't worry, it's gonna be painless.
Okay.
I'm a professional. I know what I'm doing.
All right. I'll show my little volunteers.
This isn't the first time I've crossed between these two states. The trail kind of weaves back and forth for a couple of days, maybe a couple of weeks, I'm not sure. But I'm getting real close to the end of the Smokies. I've got about 10 more miles to go today, and then tomorrow maybe 20, and I should be out of the Smokies by then. This is Newfound Gap. Popular tourist site. Trash cans are available, and I don't know if there's bathrooms, but I'm gonna find out. Coming out of Newfound Gap, this tree is really rooting for me. Woo! I'm at Charlie's Bunion right now. It's supposed to be a highlight of this trip right here. This is not clouds. This is steam rising out of the mountains, being blown over the ridgeline. It's cold, probably, I'd say low 40s right now. Sun's just coming up. Been hiking for about 20 minutes just to get out of the shelter area. It's a half-mile walk from shelter to back to the trail this morning. Just an amazing sight though, to see the fog moving this fast, the steam coming out of the mountains. It's really kind of weird, but you look at fog a different way when you're in the mountains. It's not a cloud coming down, it's steam rising up. I'm not sure if it's North Carolina or Tennessee right now, but a lot of this on the mountain looks this way. Everything is just mossed over. If it's not moss, I don't know what it is, but I mean, look at the logs. And it's like that all over the place. It's really pretty. It's kind of like the emerald forest. These trees actually have some leaves. A lot of them are ferns, so we do have some shade along this stretch. I don't think the summer leaves have come in yet, but it's just very picturesque here. I wish I could bring my big camera and take some great photos here. This morning I left Peck's Corner Knob. I did 16 miles yesterday to get there and had planned to do 20 today. I would have cut it short, except the only place to cut it short is at the 5 mile mark. And I didn't want to stop at that shelter because that just seemed like a waste of a day. 5 miles is nothing. That's at Nero. If I go 5 miles, I'm ready to check into a hotel, get a hot shower, a warm meal, a warm bed, and get my laundry done. There was no way to do that, so I had to keep going. Well, the next shelter is Cosby Shelter. Cosby's been closed by the ATC because of bear activity. Apparently a bear, about a week ago, tore up a tent to get to somebody's food bag. So they closed Cosby Shelter. Can't stay there. That's 10 miles from where I started this morning. Maybe 15, I'm not sure. But point is, if I didn't stop at that first shelter 5 miles back, then I can't stop again until Davenport Gap Shelter, which was 20 miles from where I started. The hell was that? They got macaws in the Appalachian Trail. Oh well. Any rate, so I opted to just keep going. Why the hell not? I had planned a 20 mile day. I'm going to do a 20 mile day. My problem was I didn't get started at 8 o'clock. It was about an hour later than I should have been. I think I'll be okay though. Terrain's been fairly forgiving, and I expect I can make 2 miles an hour. So that's 10 hours of walking. That'll get me there by 7 at the latest. But chances are I'll be earlier because some of it's downhill. And I will say one more thing. They talk about when you earn your trail legs, when you've got your trail legs. I can tell you that the last 48 hours, I have been charging up mountains like a madman. I have no idea why. I'm not winded. My legs are strong. Nothing's hurting. I'm feeling as good as I've felt since I've been out here. This is like day 24 or something. But I'm cruising right now. And I think I can pull off a 20 mile day without hurting myself. So we'll find out come sundown tonight. Where am I? I'm either stealth camping in the middle of bear activity, or I'm at Davenport Gap Shelter, or I've made it another mile to Davenport Gap, called a shuttle, and headed to town. And I don't even know what town is nearby. So everything's a gamble. just the way I like it. Wish I knew what towns these were. I might book a hotel. Cosby Knob Shelter. Closed due to aggressive bear activity. I always wonder what bear activity was. You know, is it badminton? Is it frisbee? But if it's aggressive, are they playing football? Are they playing rugby? What are they doing? Well, good morning. It's Friday the 16th, mile 238 on the AT, and here I am at the Davenport Gap Penitentiary. They put a cage on the front of the shelter to keep bears from entering the shelter in the night to take food. That's a good sign and a bad sign. A good sign because I want to see bears, and a bad sign because I don't want to see a bear that close. One way or the other. I got here to this gap last night. There were 4 people in the shelter already, and I'm preferable to sleeping in my tent, so I asked where are the tent sites, because it's kind of parked on a hill, as you can see, and there's really nothing anywhere to be able to put a tent in a level spot. And somebody kind of pointed me off to this direction over here and said, well, I think the tent sites are that way. So I walked past this sign, which was covered with someone else's tarp. They were drying out, and didn't see toilet area that way. And I assumed that was the tent site area. So I went up there and set up my tent in the toilet area. Now, this is Tennessee. Tennessee does not have privies in their shelters. North Carolina does. That's how you know where you are, because the AT jumps back and forth between Tennessee and North Carolina for quite some time. But since there is no privy here, there is a quote-unquote toilet area. Basically, you just go up there into the woods, dig your hole, and do your business. And that's where I set up camp. So if I ever have to change my trail name from Reckless Abandon, it should probably become the Tidy Bowl Man. And in my defense, who builds a fire ring to come up here and take a dump? It's Friday, April 16th. I left the Davenport toilet bowl tent site this morning and hiked the 2 miles down into Davenport Gap. Instead of continuing on to Standing Bear Farm, I grabbed a shuttle and headed into Newport and checked into a hotel.